Pray for the children who haven't seen the light. Pray for the children who continue to fight. Pray for the soldiers who hold them tight. Pray for the angels to wrap them in love and light. Pray to God to make all of this right. Amen.
The Epstein Files reveal the largest genocide in human history, and it is being hidden from your eyes. The Epstein Files reveal the largest genocide in human history, and it is being hidden from your eyes. 8 million children go missing every single year. Look at all these people with black eyes. Politicians, your famous actors, the Pope, high-level people. They all participate. This is an email from the Epstein Files. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging. Adrenochrome is the molecule created in adrenalized blood, meaning when your adrenaline is high, when you have fear, right? That's why when little kids are tortured, they have more adrenaline in their blood, and then they drink it. It gives them a high. It also makes their skin look younger. And I've known about this for quite some time. There are whistleblowers who came out who have been trafficked who talk about this. It's known, but now the Epstein Files just proved it. See all these celebrities with black eyes? That's not.
A state senator staff member was arrested on federal child sex trafficking charges in Juneau, Alaska. Alaskan authorities say that a staff member for a state senator has been charged with sex trafficking of children and other child exploitation offenses. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Alaska, the FBI arrested Craig Scott Valdez, age 36, after a federal grand jury returned an indictment with charges that include sex trafficking of children. Investigators say they believe Valdez targeted more than 10 juveniles across Alaska. At the time of his arrest, the FBI identified Valdez as a current state employee working in Anchorage and Juneau. The 36-year-old was listed as a staff member for Senator George Rosher in Juneau on the Alaska Senate Minority website. Prosecutors said Friday in a detention memo that a review of Valdez's Snapchat and Cash App activity revealed at least 11 suspected juvenile victims beyond the one named in the indictment. The indictment charges that Valdez's conduct in relation to a minor victim from an incident in October of 2025, and that the FBI said he is believed to have victimized or attempted to victimize other juveniles as well. State leaders have called Valdez's arrest and charges shocking. The Alaska Republican Party also reached swiftly to the news of Valdez's arrest. Reacting, they said, quote, "The conduct described in federal court filings demands our deepest outrage," says Chairman Carmela Warfield in a statement. Also, quote, "There is absolutely no place in our state for anyone who would harm a child." Warfield also noted that decisive action has been taken to remove Valdez from all positions he previously held within the party and the Anchorage Young Republicans. If convicted, Valdez faces 15 years to life in federal prison. The FBI's Anchorage Field Office and the Anchorage Police Department are investigating the case as part of the FBI's Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. The FBI is asking anyone with information about Valdez's alleged actions to contact the Anchorage Field Office at 907-276-4441. Again, the Anchorage Field Office number is 907-276-4441. Also in the news this week is North Dakota's former Republican Senator Ray Holmberg who has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for traveling abroad 14 times to abuse children. The former North Dakota State Senator Ray Holmberg, a Republican who served in the legislature for 45 years, has been sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Not long enough, according to my opinion. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the 81-year-old from Grand Forks traveled to Prague in the Czech Republic about 14 times between 2011 and 2021. During these trips, he paid for acts with adolescent boys at a brothel and sought out underage boys in a public park near the main train station. He reportedly used the alias Sean Evans on some occasions to avoid having his real name recorded, citing his position as a state legislator. Court documents detail how he communicated with friends about the trip, encouraging them to join, sharing details like boys renting for around $60 with sex extras, and boasting about encounters with boys as young as 12 and 15. He also faced allegations of manipulating a 16-year-old Canadian boy online, trying to get him to send explicit images. Holmberg pleaded guilty in August of 2024 to one count of traveling in foreign commerce for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual conduct. The sentencing occurred on March 26, 2025, exceeding the guidelines range that both sides had recommended, around 3 to 4 years, with the judge citing the severity of the offense and ongoing risk. This case was handled under Project Safe Childhood, the DOJ's initiative against child exploitation. And I just want to add my 2 cents worth on the end of this, because if this is something that's a Project Safe Childhood that the DOJ is running, then they need to be recommending more than 3 to 4 years in prison for these kind of sorry-ass SOBs. They should be getting life or death, period. Your discretion is advised.
The Epstein Files reveal the largest genocide in human history, and it is being hidden from your eyes. 8 million children go missing every single year. Look at all these people with black eyes. Politicians, your famous actors, the Pope, high-level people. They all participate. This is an email from the Epstein Files. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging. Adrenochrome is the molecule created in adrenalized blood, meaning when your adrenaline is high, when you have fear, right? That's why when little kids are tortured, they have more adrenaline in their blood, and then they and drink it. It gives them a high. It also makes their skin look younger. And I've known about this for quite some time. There are whistleblowers who came out who have been trafficked who talk about this. It's known, but now the Epstein Files just proved it. See all these celebrities with black eyes? That's not by accident. That's because before they do you know what to the kids, they have to get punched in the eye as a humiliation ritual. It goes even deeper than that. You see, the reason these people have so much power and influence is because when you do ritualistic magic with a child, that child is closest to God, the spirit world, so it creates universal energy. When you kill a child, it creates energy in the spirit world. They're utilizing that energy for whatever they want in the world. They're actually taking that ritualistically. It's magic. It goes back to the Aztec and Mayan civilizations. Yes, these people are sick, demented in the head, but it's also way deeper than you can even comprehend. They're targeting children because they're powerless and they're closest to God. We need to stop this. We need to save the children. And guess what? Even all of these Epstein Files released, I guarantee nothing's going to happen. None of those people will be prosecuted, right? Because they have the power, right? They're the ones doing ritualistic magic. They're the ones with the highest levels of power, wealth, influence in the world. We need to put an end to this. It is up to us. It's in our hands.
And that's actually where I disagree with him, because I do feel like we have hope. And we're seeing evidence of it now, that something is being done. and that this will end. It will end. I want to show this to you too. People like her make tragic things happen to specific areas so that her foundation and their missionaries can swoop in and grab these children up. They did it with Haiti and what's his name? Chavez. Hugo Chavez, was that his name? The leader of Chile. He told it. And like within weeks, he was gone. I've got a long list of a body count, long list of crimes. And this woman is pure evil. Pure evil. And I will celebrate the day that she is finally punished. Now, again, your discussion is advised, but I want to show you that there is hope because these children are being saved.
Ships Mercy and Comfort that were sent from Trump to New York. We just have confirmed information right now that they sent those ships, those highly equipped ships, to take care of children rescued from tunnel system under Central Park in New York. Children that were born in sex slavery in these tunnel systems, kept as sex slaves. They are deformed and completely shattered and broken. I just ask you to stand with these children right now and pray. The ships Mercy and Comfort that were sent from Trump to New York.
So to understand this better, Trump sent the ships Mercy and Comfort to the Bay Area, the port area of New York during COVID. I'm sure many of you remember that. And they set up what looked like a MASH hospital outside. So many of us understood then what was happening. Many of us who were helping to track down where the children were and who took them. The chain of command, right, of being passed along. So we understood then what was happening. And we even spoke of it a little bit through channels like Telegram and on Twitter before we were all deplatformed. The children were being rescued from underground tunnel systems where they had never seen the light of day. A breeding program. In the dark, literally and figuratively. Underneath very big, important states where there's hustle and bustle and the stock bell rings all the time. And no one was ever any wiser where these children were or that they even existed. The extent that this goes to is going to be hard for a lot of you to understand. And it's not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. I'm not trying to force this down your throat, but it is part of my mission to bring this out from the dark into the light. Because every one of those little voices that have never had an opportunity to be heard, they deserve for people to know that they exist. And that is going to be part of my mission, to make sure you know that they exist. And the other part of my mission is and always will be to teach you how to not be a slave anymore, to truly grasp your power and reclaim your title and your birthright as God's chosen people. And together, we will get through this. I promise. And perhaps some of you remember this one.
Hey everyone, my name is Alexandra Agudelo. I'm a hospital corpsman 3rd class. I'm stationed here on the USNS Comfort. I'm Raw's crew, which means that I'm actually stationed on the ship. I checked in about 8 months ago during Continuing Promise 19. It's been a wild ride. I work here in the ER. I'm the only Raw's crew member here in the ER, and this mission has been really special to me. My uncle actually responded to 9/11 with the Comfort. He was a firefighter in the Army at the time, and having this opportunity to be here and follow in his footsteps, someone that is the motivation for me joining the military, it's been pretty awesome. This mission has been very humbling for me, and it's pretty amazing to be able to be here and respond to Americans after spending so much time in South America, and just kind of putting the corpsman rate out there for everyone so that people finally know who we are. You know, we're here for you, and you don't have to be afraid anymore. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great night.
God bless her, and God bless every one of them who worked on this mission. There's going to be a lot of really ugly truths to come out that are going to be very, very hard for a lot of you to wrap your mind around. It's going to make you really angry. It's going to make you want to act out. And I am asking you to remind yourself to pause and to breathe and to remember that by the time you're learning the full truth, the children are safe, and most of the court tribunals will have already been completed and recorded for you to watch whenever you're ready in order to see the crimes that they're charged with and the punishment that they received. The QAnon movement has the Marine cell with the slogan, "Bring the pain." We adhere to that. And the reason we call it Bring the Pain is in honor of one of our greatest forefathers who rarely gets any props, Thomas Paine, who famously said that we shall have no real hope to survive the enemies arranged against us until we hang the traitors lurking among us. And that is exactly what is intended for all of these evil, evil people. That's why you see laws changing statewide and on the federal level That's why I brought you the attention of these other two men in government who were arrested first. Because the rest of them won't get off as easy.